Topic number one. Why does Wall Street have to be healthy and doing okay in order for Main Street, quote unquote, or the average person at large to do okay? In other words, you hear it all the time. If Wall Street's not okay, nothing else can be okay. And I know for the average guy and gal out there, you gotta ask yourself, what's going on? Why has that got to be the case? Something ain't right. I know, because I hear it so many times. And I know everybody gets an answer like, well, it's complicated and this and that. Well, I'm going to explain it in such a way that you all will be able to understand it. And if you can't understand it after I explain it this way, then something's wrong, because this is you got to catch it. And you're going to ask me, well, why are you going to be able to explain it in such a way that, all these other guys couldn't? Well, there's only one simple answer, because I'm smarter than all those other guys. And now you're probably laughing and this and that, but you got to remember, I'm the developer of the SupraVantage. The one who has supremacy over the stock market, can drive it like a car. Nobody else can do that. So there you have it. So now I'm trying to be, as I told you in the initial introduction, I'm trying to be socially responsible. But I am a Wall Street guy too. So when you guys start bashing us, because I'm one of them too, that doesn't feel good. I don't like to be in a crowd that's not popular. So I think we need to get this straight. And what they're saying is true. Wall Street has to do well in order for the average Joe to be okay and everything to be smooth. But now I'm going to explain to you why. And when I explain it to you, it's going to be the real reality, and then you have to just kind of deal with it. And you have to embrace the relationship. You have to understand Wall Street's kind of like your wayward nephew, He's still family. You feed him. Although, you got to slap him around a little bit, got to punish him because he's always subject to do something he shouldn't do, but he's still family and you still love him. That's how it is. And when you understand that's the relationship, you have to embrace it, you deal with it, and you get through it. So Wall Street is like your nephew. Think of it like that. So why is it so important? Let me give you a couple of illustrations. When you call 911 and there's a medical response team readily available to come to your beck and call, do you know who's financing that? When there's a stadium, when there's a highway, when there's a police force out there in the neighborhood making sure everything's reasonably safe. What if your politicians were to say, well, listen, we got to build a hospital this year, so we're gonna look at how many people that we got in and around the hospital that will probably make use of it. And we're going to just divide that by whatever the hospital costs, and now we're going to tax everybody. Now that number may be 5-6 times more than what you paid last year. And they're going to come out and say, we need this hospital. We got to build it, so everybody's got to pitch in, so we pay your tax bill. There will be more backlash now than you can imagine. But where does the money come from? A municipal bond offering. Those same Wall Street guys, those same guys you don't like, those same guys that you always want to talk, stuff about, now they got to help you out. Because you can't afford to pay for what you need right now. Same thing like when you go in to buy a car most times. Most people have to finance their cars and finance their houses. You need it right now, but you can't pay the ticket right now, so you need some financing. And that's what the municipal bond offering is all about. Your parks, your stadiums. A lot of things that makes your life reasonably comfortable. I know it could be better. It could always be better. But it would be a lot worse when you didn't have a medical response team and grandma was sick. Or there wasn't no paved roads. Everything was still dirt roads. And you got to drive from here to Disney World on a dirt road. How'd you like that? Oh, you'd be complaining too. And then if somebody says, well, we got to tax you like a lot of money this year because you got to pay your fair share of the road and the hospital and the police force and everything else for this year's budget, that'd be a problem. So what happens, the Wall Street guys, those guys we talk about all the time, They go out and do a municipal bond offering, raise all the money for the hospital, raise all the money for the road, raise it the way it needs to be. And then the government can collect little nickels and dimes from you, parking tickets, occupational fees, licenses, property taxes and the like, and pay it every year, every quarter, like you do your car note or your house. The same thing. So if you want to throw away the relationship, I don't think it would be a smart thing, because I know you may not like the Wall Street fellas, but you can't dislike them altogether, because they may be the same ones that help you later. Financing them new ideas. Those young, sharp gentlemen at Google, how are they going to seize greatness without Wall Street? How was Bill Gates going to seize greatness without Wall Street? How's your kid or somebody else's grandkid, or maybe even you may have an idea? 9 times out of 10 it's going to be some sort of financing that derives from Wall Street. Even the banks are tied to Wall Street. So now what happens? They talk about jobs. You say, well, how does that have to do with my job? How does this? Well, let's face it. When they build that stadium, every week, those guys got to get paid. And those same guys are going to be buying lunch from your local lunch counter. But what happens if you didn't pay your taxes? Then the county can't collect, can't pay the bill. Everything's just shut down. Because everybody's got to get paid every week. But nobody can collect the money every week. So Wall Street gets in the middle. So right away, you can see that alone, construction comes to a halt, because the politician says, well, we're waiting on a few people to pay their property taxes. And when they pay their taxes and some other stuff, then we'll resume construction. That's madness. Just to say something like that would cause all kinds of uproar. So now what I'm saying is this. Wall Street gets in the middle and smooths things out in ways you never even know what's going on. You take it for granted, like a lot of you do so many times, what's happening and the lengths people are going to make things better than they would normally be. That doesn't mean Wall Street a bunch of, Boy Scouts. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying, we have to embrace the relationship. We have to understand that, yes, they must do well in order for you to do well, because things need financing. So now what you have to do is learn the game. You must learn what they're doing. Learn how to protect yourself. Send your kids to business school, or at least give them business books. Make this a priority to learn. Make it an important topic. Because as they said many times, and now you should understand why, Wall Street must do well. If they don't do well, nobody else is going to do well. That's just it. Because things need to flow smoothly. You need the financing that they bring. A lot of other things they bring that you don't like, but you have to like them in slices, but you can't do that. It's a package deal. Like I said, they're like your wayward nephew. You feed them, you love them, you just got to watch them. Sometimes you got to punish them. Sometimes you got to slap them around. But they're still family. And that'll never change. So with that, I'm signing off. And I hope this has been helpful. I hope some folks have learned some things. God bless.